My jokes about my horrible parking have caught up to me. I'm still traumatized from this, and this happened like 3-4 weeks ago. Let me just get into it. So, the day before I left for Florida, I was doing my errands, getting the last things that I need, and I decided to go get my toes done. Like, my toes were looking a little crusty. So I'm driving my way over to the nail salon that I go to, and it's in a little plaza. The parking lot is pretty small, and it was like packed that day because it was beautiful outside. Everyone was vibing that day, including me. I had my music up, I was like, and then after this, everything just went downhill. Like, I was having a great day, and there's one parking space in front of the nail salon, but facing the opposite direction. It's that one space that's empty, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna park here because then I don't have to walk that far, even though my legs were perfectly fine. Let me just squish my way into the parking space, because I always squish my way into a parking space. There was a Jeep and a Toyota, and I was gonna park right in between them. And the Jeep, it was a big Jeep, like it was pretty chunky, and it was like in the middle of the line. It's one of those parking spaces where it's like 2 yellow lines, and it was like over one of them. But I was like, it's fine, like let me just squish in here. I start going into the parking space, and then I just hear this big scraping noise, and I'm just like, and I just freeze. There's no way. There is no way I just did that. No. And then I look around, because whenever I do something embarrassing, I look to see if anyone saw me. And the owner of the nail salon and this other guy were right there having a convo, and they just looked at me and I looked at them. And I'm just sitting there. I'm pretty sure I just hit this person's car. And then I keep looking at the guy, and the guy comes up to me, and he just looks at me and he's like,
"Are you alright?"
And I'm like, did I just hit their car? And he's like,
"Yeah, you can see it on your car."
I'm just like, great.
I really just hit the Prius.
Well, what am I supposed to do? And he was like,
"Well, you have 2 options. 1, you can just leave. 2, you can call the cops."
so I'm there like, he's like,
The right thing to do is to call the cops. If you want to do the right thing, pull into the parking space and call the cops.
at this point, the Jeep left, it was gone. If someone hit into my car, I would want them to wait for me so we could just talk about it, you know? And there's no way I could just leave and not feel guilty about it. So I parked in the parking space. I called the cops. At this point, I'm having a panic attack. I couldn't really breathe. Tears were running down my face, but I'm like, it's fine. It's not that crazy. The problem was the car had a really big dent in the bumper. And what happened was I just scraped their car. Like, it was nothing major, just some paint came off of it. Like, the damage to my car was way worse than theirs. But they had a really big dent on their bumper. But I didn't do it. I don't know whose car this is. I don't know where they're at. I don't know when they're gonna come out. I don't know what to do. So I just call the cops and I'm like, hey. And she's like, where is your emergency? Where are you located? So I tell her, and she's like, is anyone injured? And I'm like, no, like it's not that serious. I'm sitting in the car at that point. I called my mom, she didn't answer. I called my dad, he was like, okay, I'll be there in a second. He didn't even ask me what was wrong. I wasn't worried about my parents because I knew they wouldn't be that mad because it was nothing serious. But I was worried, like, what if the insurance goes up? What if a Karen comes out and that's her car? These 2 girls come out of Bagel Man, which I'm exposing myself. If you live in my area and you know what plaza I'm talking about, I'm about to expose myself. So they come out of Bagel Man. It's 2 girls, like they're around my age, like 17, 18, maybe 19, I don't know. And one of them was like to her friend, you made it worse. And they were just laughing about it. And I get out of the car and I'm like, is that your car? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm really sorry, but I scraped it. Like, I didn't mean to. I'm really sorry. They just go quiet. And I'm like, that dent was there before, right? Like, I did not dent it. And she was like, yeah, my friend actually did it, which was so funny. It was her friend next to her. Oh my gosh. And I'm like, I called the cops. Like, they're on their way. So like 10 minutes later, these slow cops, they took like 25 minutes to get there. They come, the cop shows up, he's really chill. I'm like, I was pulling into the parking space. The person next to me was kind of over the line. Oh, when I was pulling into the parking space like the second time once the Jeep left, the guy was like,
"Oh, I suggest you fix your parking so no one hits into you."
Sir, No one is coming into this parking space next to me. I don't care. No one is pulling in here. Anyways, the cops come. He's really chill. I explained to him that I scraped their car, blah, blah, blah. He was like, well, this is a private parking lot, so I can't write a report. And in my head, I'm like, I can't write a report. And then I was like, well, then what do we do? Like, both of us, like, all three of us are just like, what are we supposed to do? And he's like, I suggest that you guys exchange insurances and yeah, like he didn't really know what to say, and I'm like, okay. They leave, the cops just leave, and my dad pulls up, and I explain to him what happened. He's just saying to the girls like how they're so nice because they could have easily blamed the dent on me. My dad was like, what we can do is I can take you to my mechanic and we can pay for the damage for you. We'll see how much it costs. Her license plate was from Maryland. She was like, you know what? It's honestly okay. Like, to get the insurance involved, it's just gonna be a lot more work. I have to get my bumper replaced anyways because of the big dent. And I'm leaving today to Maryland. This is the perfect scenario here. They're so sweet. It's okay.
And I'm still having a panic attack at this point.
I just can't get over it. I get her phone number, I get her name. Her name is Amanda. Shout out to Amanda. I'm like, I'll send you some money through Apple Pay once I get my new card because my old card was blocked. Like, obviously I'm just a mess. She was like, yeah, that's fine, like, don't worry about it. My dad hands me back the keys to drive home and I'm like, you drive. Then I realized that my dad came here in his own car and I have to drive now and I'm still having a panic attack. The girl's like, it's fine, all you have to do is drive now, like, you'll be okay. And I'm like, girl, you are so nice. Moral of the story, I did not get my crusty toes done and I will never go back to that nail salon because everyone in that nail salon saw me hit their car. I was like, there's no way I'm going in there at this point and I will not go back because the nail salon owner saw me. I'm like, this is so embarrassing. That's basically it. I just wanted to share that with you guys because I figure if I just let it out now, maybe I can eventually just get over it. I'm so thankful that it wasn't a Karen because she could have blamed the dent on me. She could have got the insurance involved. My insurance could have went up because I just got my license like 7 months ago.
That was just so stressful.
I'm really glad that it worked out. Also, more of the story, I will be parking way back, away from everyone. I don't care how far I have to walk. I am not parking next to anyone if possible. So I don't want that to happen ever again. After that, I was a little scared to drive, but now I'm fine. But I'm scared to park. Every time I had to pull into a parking space, I'm just like, no, like I can't do it. And on the way home, I had another panic attack, a more intense feeling. Couldn't breathe even more and I just break down because I'm like, I can't believe I did that. It was just a lot of pressure and I was just so overwhelmed because I didn't know what was gonna happen. And I
have this problem
where if I don't know what's gonna happen next, I just get really anxious and really nervous. It was just crazy. And I get home, I'm still crying. It's that type of crying where you have red patches on your neck, get the red patches on my face. When the girl was talking to me, she was like, don't worry, I've gotten into many accidents. Like, it's fine. Shout out to her. That was so sweet. I'm so glad it was that and not someone else. I'm still scarred from it. Like, I know it wasn't anything serious and I had the best outcome that it possibly could have been. And I'm so grateful for that. And you know what? I did go to driver's ed, okay? But I just could not. I learned, but then I can't do it. At the time, I was thinking about getting a car, doing my research, and then I'm like, I don't even want a car anymore. Because if I mess up my car that I buy, I will be so upset. Now that we're in quarantine, there's nowhere to go anyways. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys are staying safe. And I know it can be really stressful. For me personally, I'm unemployed at the moment because they just don't want to pay their employees anymore. Try to stay positive. I know it's really difficult. To those of you guys who are alone or don't live in the best home situation where you want to go to school but you can't go to school right now, I'm thinking about you and I hope you're doing all right. But we'll see what the future brings. All we can do is just stay positive and hopeful that this will end soon. Hopefully it'll be over by the summer so we can have a really good summer and go out, go to the beach. Try to stay home, just be smart about it. That's really important at this point because The more you keep going out, the longer we're gonna have to stay in our house. The longer everyone's gonna have to stay in their house. So just be smart about it. That's all I got for you. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Like and subscribe if you want to. I'd appreciate it. Thank you for 80 subscribers. Appreciate that. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.